Shalom, Israel, Shalom. First, giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashem, Lakawah Shai. The word knows Yahweh as God, the word knows Yahweh Shai as Jesus, Hamashiach will be the Christ. And I come back to you with another soldier salutation in this verse of scripture today. Ready, set, go. It's coming from the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? So he's talking to all you brothers out there on the that's not on the highways and byways, when you know you're supposed to be on the highways and byways. Those not building up your family, you know you're supposed to be out there building up your family. Those not even learning for them own selves, even though you know you're supposed to be reading the scriptures daily. He says, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou rise out of thy sleep? When you gonna get up? When you gonna show a little motivation? When you gonna get yourself up and do the things that the Most High commanded you to do? Verse 10, it says, yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. What the hell are you doing, Israel? You need to get up off your butt. You need to go and do the things you need to do. It says, thou art taken in the words of thy mouth, right? Because you kind of tell your own self, or Salaki. Verse 10, it says, yet a little sleep, yet a little slumber, yet a little folding of the hands to sleep. Verse 11, so shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth. And your poverty gonna come quick, man. That means the Most High gonna take your real estate from the heavenly places. Right, your spiritual bank account is going to be on E. You're going to go try to run that debit card, and you're going to go insufficient spiritual funds, man. And it says, and thy want as an armed man, because you're going to come, you're going to try to take the kingdom by force, man. Right, real quick, let me get a quick precept. The book of St. John, chapter 10, and verse 1. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, going to kind of take that thing like an armed man. He said the same as a thief and a robber. That's why he said that in Proverbs. You're like a thief and a robber to the Most High. Let's get another precept. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 19. I'm going to start at verse 15. And it reads, slothfulness casteth away into a deep sleep. So that slothfulness and that deep sleep that he's talking about in Proverbs chapter 6, that will be that deep sleep. Slothfulness. And an idle soul shall suffer hunger. That means if you're idle too long, if you're in that deep sleep, that slumber, it's going to go into slothfulness, man. Let's see what that hunger that it provides. Let's go to the book of Ahrayah, chapter 37. We'll start at verse 20. And it reads, it says, there is one that showeth wisdom in words. So it's one that might be slick with the mouth. You might have some great words to say. You might have been through a few things, so you got to know how to put your words together. What we call in the streets wordplay. Got great wordplay. It says, and is hated. Who are you hated from? You're hated from the Most High. Why? Because you're not doing the things he told you to do. You're slothful. You're a sluggard. He says, he shall be destitute of all food. We're going to tell you what that food is in this next verse. For grace is not given. You're not going to get the grace from the Most High. You're not going to get the grace through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. He says, him from the Adawan, because he's deprived of all wisdom. That food would be wisdom. Right? Let me get a quick precept and show you that. Book of Ahrayah, chapter 15 and verse 3. It says, with the bread of understanding shall she feed him. That wisdom, the bread of understanding shall she feed you, and give him the water of wisdom to drink. So that wisdom will be food and drink, man. That's the food you're going to be destitute of if you are sluggard. Got another precept. Book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 13. It says, love not sleep. I'll repeat that, sluggard. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty, and that poverty will be that spiritual bank account, the insufficient funds when you swipe your spiritual card. It says, open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. And that will be the wisdom and the understanding from the Most High. I got one more precept, man, of modesty. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 6. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as others do. Don't be a sluggard. We know all the other people sleep and they're sluggards. They don't care about the Most High. They do their own will. That's why they sleep their day away. It says, but let us watch and be sober. Let us have the understanding. Let's be quick with it. Because if you're a sluggard, you're sleepy, and you're not going to be sober. Your mind is going to be in a trance, man. For they that sleep, sleep in the night. and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Verse 8, let us who are the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For Yahweh have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation. So if you're looking for that salvation, you can't be a sluggard. You can't sit down and not want to do the work of the Most High. You can't go and not want to do to the highways and the hedges where he commanded us, man, like my last video. It says, but obtain salvation by our Adonai Yahweh Mashiach, who died for us, whether we wake or sleep. We should live together with him. And the only way to live together with him is go into the highways and hedges like he did, right? Go and bid the sheep to the wedding. And we can't be sluggards in this thing, man. We gotta continue to study to show ourselves approved. And I pray that the words of the day and the scriptures of the day give you edification and give you motivation to not be a sluggard and continue to do the ways of the Most High. With that being said, Shalom.